sensation brought to us from Hurricane Sandy. But there is no keeping a New Yorker down. And so this year, everywhere you look, you will see we are growing, building, and transforming into the new York Aquarium! Now without further ado, entering the aquarium's amphitheater are two outside sea lions. Let's give it up for Duke and Bruiser and their trainer, Gunner. On your left is 550-pound, 10-year-old Duke. On your right is 350-pound, 4-year-old Bruiser. Now, both of our boys were born in the Bronx Zoo, so we consider them native New Yorkers. In the wild, sea lions can be found all along our west coast, as far north as Canada, and as far south as Mexico. Now, sea lions are very social animals. And they commonly gather together in large groups called rookeries. And these rookeries can be pretty noisy places. Well, I guess that's why they call them sea lions. Now, these guys also commonly communicate through a breath exchange, and this behavior happens to look a whole lot like a sea lion kiss. That was a wet one. Now, as you guys may or may not know, sea lions belong to a group of mammals called the pinnipeds. And this group includes true seals, eared seals, and walruses. Now, I know everybody here knows what a walrus looks like. Am I right, guys? Hint, hint. But telling the difference between a true seal and an eared seal can be a little more difficult. So we're going to give you guys a few tips on how to do just that. Step 1, take a look at the side of the animal's head. If you see an external ear flap, you are looking at an eared seal, just like Duke and Bruiser. True seals do not have that. True seals also have very short front flippers, versus the sea lion's front flippers, which are long and flexible, and they use them to pull themselves through the water a lot like we do when we go swimming. Now they use their hind flippers for steering. Whoa! Check these babies out. Now these hind flippers can completely rotate underneath the animal's body, which helps them walk around on all fours. And as a result, the sea lion is extremely mobile on land, which is ideal for... What's going on, guys? What is this? What's happening? Moving on. We rehearsed it. We're going to show you guys. Come on, they all know you're mobile on land. You don't got to do this. You're embarrassing me now. You're embarrassing yourself at this point. I'm sorry, guys. I got to call it. I'm going to have to do it. That's it now. Clap! Thank you. Honestly, Angie, you can be the biggest show-off. Yep. Can we get back to the show now? Great. As I was saying, true seals and eared seals have their differences, but they also happen to have a few things in common. For example, they are both extremely adept at catching their prey, generally small schooling fish, such as herring. And Duke loves his herring. In fact, you know, Angie, he has been eyeing that fish in your couch this whole time. I think he's going to help himself. You trust him, do you? Alright guys, well check this out. Angie trusts Duke so much that she could put a fish in his mouth and she knows he will not eat it. What? Is nobody impressed by this? Tough crowd. Yeah. We don't want your sympathy. But I say, go home, try this with your dog and a steak. Okay, good luck. Angie, let's take this up a notch. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on this. Angie can not only put a fish in Duke's mouth, but she can turn her back on him. Because she knows when she turns back around, that fish will still be in Duke's mouth. And that's what we call trust.
That totally uses that.
Well, on a serious note, it does take a lot of trust to build these relationships with our animals. And Angie and Duke are a great example of that. Because these guys have been working together for years, and as you guys can see, they are great pals. But a good trainer like Angie will look for ways to stimulate the animal both mentally as well as physically. And this happens to include a whole lot of play. To be honest, sometimes it's hard to tell who's having more fun, the sea lion or the trainer. Hit it. Our sea lions have it pretty good here. But things are a little different in the wild. Because in the wild, sea lions have to catch their own prey. And these guys are superb predators. But they don't always play the role of the hunter. Sometimes they're the prey, and they must always be on the lookout for danger. You guys see anything? Well, of course there's no danger here in our amphitheater. But in the wild there is another animal prowling the waters, stalking quarry, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. A sea lion's primary predator is the great white shark. Haha, you guys. Very funny. But this is actually no laughing matter. Sharks are in some serious trouble. Not only are their numbers dropping, they are plummeting. And at this rate, many species will... Duke, are you clapping? Oh yes, you were. Now, I know from a sea lion's point of view, less sharks sounds like great news, but I promise you in the long run, this is not good for anybody. And I think you two need to think about your behavior. Yes, the both of you. Animal and trainer alike reflect on that because, guys, this is a critical issue. Sharks are facing the greatest danger they have ever faced, possibly the greatest challenge they will